So the title of today's presentation is Enhancing HBCU Graduate Outcomes, the CISC NFAS HBCU Fellowship Program's role in fostering academic excellence, career readiness, and the future of agriculture leadership. So today's presentation will go over a little intro into what the program is about. We'll also go over the background of the CISC NFAS Fellowship and how it came to be what it is today. Then we'll look into the impacts on academic excellence that we've seen from the program so far, followed by a brief talk on career readiness and leadership in agriculture overall, and then some future directions and opportunities before we conclude today. So just starting off, this is a HBCU specific fellowship program. So as we are open to the 1890s, we also are open and take fellows from across the HBCU network. So a little bit about the role of HBCUs. The Higher Education Act of 1965 distinguishes an HBCU as any historically Black college or university that was established prior to 1964, whose principal mission was and is the education of Black Americans. But as we know, HBCUs offer all students, regardless of race, an opportunity to really develop their skills and their talents. So some of the historical significance of HBCUs, they were established after the Civil War, post the Civil War era, and they were founded as a place to educate African Americans when segregation was barring them access to other institutions. And empowerment has always been the aim of historically Black colleges and universities, as they represent historically underrepresented students and give them access to higher education, as well as promoting this concept of equality. And they played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement. Several of the HBCUs had their faculty and their students were pivotal in propelling the civil rights movement, and we're thankful for their contributions. And also HBCUs have produced so many leaders. Many of them are in the room, they fill this place, so we're grateful for that. And the contribution to them, to the higher education community as well as community impact, some key themes are around academic excellence. HBCUs excel in producing graduates in critical fields such as STEM, education, and of course public service. Also, HBCUs are a major economic contributor to their communities, both nationally and internationally. They provide jobs, they foster workforce development, and they boost local economies. And this presentation will talk about the HBCU's role in fostering workforce development. They're also huge contributors for social and cultural impact. They serve as cultural hubs, promoting African American heritage and addressing community needs through both outreach and service programs. So, of course, very grateful for the role of HBCUs in higher education. So let's talk a bit about the CHFP program specifically. So the CHFP program, now, we know in academia, it's an always laugh, government too, it's acronyms on acronyms on acronyms. So CHFP is actually a conglomerate of acronyms. The C in CHFP stands for CISC, which is the Carver Integrative Sustainability Center, housed in Tuskegee, Alabama, as a part of Tuskegee University. The I stands for NFAS, which is, or the I that's not present here, that's blended into the CHFP, is NFAS, which stands for the Interinstitutional Network for Food, Ag, and Sustainability, housed through UC Davis, who is Tuskegee's partner. They partner with the CISC to provide mentorship to the fellows that are involved in the program. And then the H is for HBCU, Historically Black College and University, and the F is for fellows, and the P is for program. So with the CHFP program overview, it is a partnership between NFAS and CISC, and it is made possible through funding from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. And the CHFP program runs through the year. It is a one-year program for fellows, and something that is unique to our program as it has evolved is that we have two distinctions of students. So we have fellows and we have honorees. and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then there are eligibility requirements for the students that need to, this is a graduate program, so students need to have completed at least one semester in a master's or doctoral program before they're able to apply. And some of the program supports are financial. Students receive $6,000 along with mentoring and professional development opportunities that are inclusive of travel. They're able to fly in and travel to the PAWC conference and compete in the Gamma Sigma Delta graduate honors competition. And we'll talk a little more about that, but our students have done very well in these opportunities. And then the mentors, they are paired with mentors from across the, not just the HBCU network, but we've also extended to 1862 institutions, and members specifically of the NFAS network. So let's talk a little bit about the history of this and how it runs today. So you'll see to the far left, we have Natalie Magruder, JD, who is the CHFP program coordinator. The students have lovingly called her Auntie Natalie over the years as a term of endearment, because she's the face of the organization to the fellows. She's their immediate point of contact. She also, so throughout the fellowship program, they meet throughout 8 months. They'll do 8 sessions, like classes, that focus on professional development. They do 1 a month while they're in the fellowship program, and Natalie oversees that, schedules different people from ag and industry to come in and talk to the fellows and provide them with different professional development opportunities. So she is the very first face of the program to students. There's myself, I'm the program director, and this program started as a pilot with NFAS. Before Tuskegee began doing this work, there was a pilot done with NFAS, and when they were looking to reach out to HBCUs back in 2018. And I have the privilege of being one of the first, we were all women, it was 3 women, one of the first women in that cohort. And so I always tell my students that are involved in the fellowship program to just really be aware of their trajectory and their journey, because you might be a fellow this year and 2 to 3 years running a program similar or doing something in your field. This is a very important time in their careers, because for some of them things have already gotten started, and for others they're right about, it's like seeing a rocket take off. They're right about to go into the world, and we just want to give them that extra little bit of fuel so that they can just fly. And then we thank Dr. Christine Porter, who's the outgoing chair of NFAS, for a lot of the visioning and helping to get the original pilot for NFAS set up. And then Dr. Raymond Change, who helps to be the face and coordination from the CISC, and helps kind of like hold that down for us together. So as a team, we work to really support the fellows as they transition through the program. So the participants are able to, they meet 8 times via Zoom, and then they have smaller meetings with their group pairs that happen twice a month. And all fellows are required to participate in all cohorts, and they do participate in 4 meetings with their own smaller mentor teams. And I can show you a little bit what that looks like. And like I said, they come in as a part of the fellowship, all expense paid trip to Montgomery, Alabama, so that they can compete and show their research at the PAWC conference. And the next PAWC conference, shameless plug, will be November 17th through the 19th in Montgomery, Alabama. So for all our conference goers, we welcome and invite you to that one as well. And they compete both in the oral and the poster presentation for Gamma Sigma Delta. And then the whole fellowship culminates in them giving a public-facing research brief on their work, a presentation or digital story for public distribution that helps them to not only, a real goal and focus with this program is having the students connect their research to food systems and see how they are food system scholars. This is an example from our very first year of what a team looks like. So you'll see at the top there will be 2 primary mentors assigned to each fellow, and then a tertiary mentor in the middle that kind of floats and helps assist the fellows. The program arc, as you can see, we kick off in September with a group meeting and assembly. They start their travel prep to come to PAWC in October. They present in November, they come to PAWC, then we meet throughout the year before we culminate in May with the final fellow presentation. And so we ask the fellows their areas of interest and what they want to learn about. And some of the research findings that we've come up with, fellows are really interested in budgeting techniques, both professional and personal, the impactful grant writing, scholarship and fellowship writing, as well as job applications. So currently our fellows are working right now on cover letters and resumes so that they can be prepared for either going into a PhD program or graduating. Here's a photo of 3 of our fellows at PAWC this year. There's only 6 awards. So you can get first, second, and third in poster, first, second, and third in oral. And of the 6 places, 3 of the 6 went to CFSRPES scholars, whether they be fellows or honorees. And I'm gonna shout her out because one of them is in the room who placed first today in graduate oral presentation. So, and we love to think that going to opportunities like this months in advance can help prepare our students. So as I wrap up, some of the future directions and opportunities, some of the future impacts, we are tracking our fellows. We have a strong alumni. We've had 2 years of the fellowship, a pilot, and then this being the first up and running year. So we're tracking them to see where they go. We also work with the fellows upon graduating from the program to help them get if they're interested, we offer them opportunity to help get their first research article published. Some of them have published more than one already. And we have a partnership with JASCA, the Journal of Ag, Food, Sustainability, and Community Development, to help get those, to get them published. So this might not seem as brilliant as it could be, but it's very simple. It's the start that gets you to the finish. And that's what we believe with this program. Like these students, a lot of them they're already stellar, they're already rockets headed to space, but we make sure we give them that little extra boost because that is sometimes all folks need to get to that next level. So with that, I thank you all for your time and your attention, and I conclude my presentation here. Thank you.